I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday to you all. Hope you're all having a great day. Hope you all had a nice Monday night. I had a good one. Placed 3 bets. Won all 3 of them. So, and always nice when there's no red X's in there. Hopefully that momentum continues on into Tuesday. We got Mr. Cabang with us. Haven't had Ronald on in a while. The thing is, I've actually asked him to come on twice in the last couple months, both on Thursday, which is the one day he can't do.
Yeah, so. Thursday's the worst day.
So we got UCapper back, and Chris should be joining us. But you know what? It just occurred to me. I haven't talked to Chris today. So I mean, oh no. As I said that, he popped up. Yeah. Let's get Chris on. We are into the NBA postseason, which obviously is a lot of fun. 2 games today, playing games. I did bet them both. Now, I mean, it's tough with these types of markets. Obviously, they're taking a ton of action. I don't know how much betting value there is, but let's gamble and have some fun. The first one being Atlanta on the road in Orlando here, and I did take the Magic at -5 last night. A couple things. It probably sound like a broken record with a couple of these because I've said it so many times this year. But what's been true about the Hawks all season? They struggle against bad offenses because this defense is so bad that they can't make stops against bad offenses either. So the Hawks defense is bad, but even when they see bad offenses, it's still bad. So the record against the spread is not great against bad offenses. It's actually smarter. It's been more profitable to bet the Hawks against good offenses this year. So even though Orlando is not an offensive team I trust, they still should not have problems scoring on this Hawks defense. And speaking of the Hawks defense, I mean, if you really look at the Hawks schedule over the last month, they have played pretty well. So it's not like they've been bad, but I mean, they played a very easy schedule. If you look at the last month, you're talking about Brooklyn twice, Charlotte twice, Philadelphia twice. I mean, there's a lot of really, really easy matchups in there. And over that span, despite playing a very easy schedule the last stretch of the season, the Hawks still have a 116 defensive rating in the last 14 games. So despite playing, let's say, trash that has quit on the season, they still can't make stops. So I think Orlando's going to be able to score points here. Another thing Orlando's done great down the stretch that I like, we're now flipping to the other side of the ball. We're going to talk about the Hawks offense, which is obviously the strength of the team. This is a very good offense. This is a team that likes to run. They're actually first in the NBA in transition frequency. Just so happens that Orlando has been playing lockdown defense against the fast break. They're actually first in defensive efficiency in transition. So the Hawks like to run. Orlando's been locking the fast break down. And just like I said, the Hawks have struggled against bad offenses. Well, the Magic have taken advantage of these matchups when they see bad defenses. They're actually, that's what I'm looking for. Against top 10 defenses, so when the Magic see good defenses, they're 8-14-1 against the spread. But when the Magic see bad defenses like the Hawks, 19-9 against the spread. Give me Orlando to handle their business here at home, -5. Ronald, agree?
From a side perspective, it's tough. I agree with all the numbers that you say. I've seen them all, but I'm actually looking more towards the total. Actually, first, Chris, it's been a while, sir. I miss you. Miss doing the shows with you and all that stuff too. But this game specifically, the side perspective, I don't know, man. It's tough. I do trust Atlanta's offense a little bit more, but they're not going to have Capella and Nance. And I think one of the biggest things that I saw post All-Star break for this Hawks team, they have a better rebounding percentage. They're really their frequency as far as like shooting within the paint is a lot higher. But without those guys, they're going to struggle here, especially against a Magic team who's number 1 in defending within the paint. So that's going to limit their points from a league-wide perspective. I think since 2020, when the play-ins have started, I think a lot of people know this by now, 70% of the play-in games have gone under. Obviously, higher focus in on, possessions, each possession being more important, more intensity on the defensive side of the ball, slower pace of play. All that stuff kind of points towards an under team. Underplay. But specifically, when I was looking at this last night, I was like, maybe Atlanta's offense is more trustworthy. But at the same time, no matter who's on the court for the Magic, their defense is solid. Their pace of play is solid. They might limit them. So I was looking towards a Hawks team total under. So that would probably be the way that I go.
Hawks team total under. And yeah, I mean, I think what you said, because I looked at all 4 of these games, the 2 tonight and the 2 tomorrow night, and all 4 I had handicapped at a higher total than what's being posted. So I think the market's definitely incorporating that we are now in the postseason. We're going to see a higher level of defense, or we usually do. Also, the whistle. These games tend to be officiated a little differently. You'll see guys like the examples I always use are Giannis, Harden, guys that are relying on getting to the line. They don't get the same type of calls, whether that's fair or not. They tend to let the softer calls go this time of year. Which also makes it easier for the defense. So it looks like the market likes these games to be lower scoring than at least I have them modeled out. So Hawks team total, you can get a 107.5 on Caesars. That's at -115. Just looked it up. So that's what I'll put up for Ronald here. What about you, Chris?
The only reason why, real quick, I didn't take it, actually bet it, was just because both teams, their opponent free throw rate is very high. So they send opponents to the free throw line at a high rate. And Trae Young is going to get to the line as much as possible. So that's the only reason what kept me off. But that would be, like I said, that would be the best lean for me.
What about Chris?
First, what up, RC? My brother, man. Good to see you, man. Good little reunion on the Cal Kirms.
You guys haven't been on a show together?
I feel like haven't in a while. Time, bro. It feels like it's been at least 10 decades. I think Dwight Howard was playing for Orlando last night. Like, no, just kidding. As far as this game, Cal, I bet Orlando too. I do think that they can win by 2 possessions here. For all, it's not the most confident play in the world, but I do think everything that you mentioned, Cal, outside of what RC mentioned, as far as Orlando also being able to play with a lot more pace. We've seen Orlando actually play a little bit faster. It feels like they don't want to play as slow. Their offensive rating has gone up like 4 points since the All-Star break, and everything that both of you guys mentioned about the defense, I think is going to be non-existent for Atlanta here. Atlanta has been road dogs 7 times since the All-Star break. They're giving up an average of 123 points. It doesn't matter who they're playing against. These 2 teams just faced off last Tuesday, and Orlando was able to score 119 points. When you're giving up 119 to Orlando, it's all bad. And like RC said, that's why I actually lean towards the over, because I do think that the game's going to be played fast. I think Atlanta's going to push pace and make Orlando have to score the basketball. I think guys like Franz, guys like Paolo, guys like Wendell Carter Jr. are absolutely going to have a field day in this game against the Atlanta team that really does not want to stop anybody. They just want to try to outscore you. So I contemplated whether I wanted Orlando team total up and over 110.5, because I do think that they get there, or if I just wanted the -5, and I ended up on the -5 here. Orlando also has been really, really good just against their division in general. They end up winning the division. I think they were 11-4 straight up, 10-3 against the spread, 12-3 straight up, 11-4 against the spread. So they've covered 73% of their games in the division. They've won 7 in a row in the division as well. Meanwhile, Atlanta as a road dog, they've dropped 4 in a row, haven't covered any of those spreads. And to your point, Kyle, what you mentioned, I looked at post All-Star break. Atlanta leads the NBA in points scored per in the paint. 57 per game. Orlando's 4th third, allowing the 3rd fewest at just 46. Atlanta also likes to get out and run, 4th in fast break points. Orlando top 10 defensively there as well. So I did bet Orlando -5. I also put a bet in on Zachary Ristichet. So everything that we just said, Kyle, as far as the way that Atlanta likes to score, getting out and running in transition, shooting a bunch of shots from the 3-point line as of recently, Zachary Ristichet is that guy that does all of that for them, and I do think that he's going to struggle specifically. First playoff game as a rookie, on the road against a top 2 defense, and playing a team that's playing at the second slowest pace. I like Zachary Ristichet. He gets a third of his points in transition. Orlando's top 5 defensively in transition. He gets another 27% as a spot-up shooter. Orlando's number 1 in opponent spot-up opportunities this season. And in the 4 games that he's played against them so far this season, he hasn't eclipsed 12 points at all. So this number's down to 10.5, but I got it to 11.5 yesterday. Zachary Ristochet to have some first post NBA season jitters in this one. Take him under 11.5 points.
Ristochet under 10.5 or 11.5 if you can get it. All right, let's move on to the next one. And the other game, I'm going to be very upfront about this. I don't know if I necessarily like my bets in this game. There might be a little bit of, hey, I'm going to have it on, just doing some gambling. I did place 2 bets in this one, but again, the market hates one of them. I took an over 229. It's now 227.5. So the market hates my over, which, I mean, I get it. It's this time of year we tend to see, as we just talked about, some higher caliber defense and some fewer foul calls. I also took Memphis +7. I know. It's like I said, I might be falling for the soup on this one, but I did place these 2 bets. I'm on Memphis +7 and the over. I know we talked about it all year, the system. If you've blindly bet Memphis when they play bad teams and blindly fade them when they play good teams, you are swimming in ROI this year because they've been awful against good teams and great against bad teams. So on the road against Golden State, this is a good team. Maybe I should not think any deeper into this one and just say, trust the system, fade the Grizzlies. Golden State at home's a good team. Couple things. And again, maybe I'm overthinking it a bit. Number one being the last few weeks, we've seen a little bit of a shift from Memphis. Mostly because, I mean, we're talking about a Memphis team that likes to run in the fast break, and Golden State has been elite defensively against the fast break. It's a tough matchup here, too. But recently, we've seen a bit of a shift here from Memphis. Offensively, we're seeing some three-point shooting from this team. In the last 10 games, they're 7th in three-point frequency. That has not been the case for most of the season for Memphis. This is an offense that gets into the paint. They get to the basket. They've been shooting the 3-ball the last few weeks. So I'm not saying that they've been elite at it. They're like average in terms of efficiency, but they've been shooting more 3-point shots. And the reason that's important, that's been an area of concern for Golden State for most of the season. The strength of this Golden State defense has been protecting the paint. If Memphis has added a little bit of 3-point shooting to their repertoire, which according to the data from the last 3 weeks they have, I like that. I think it gives them a little bit of advantage here. If those outside shots are going to fall, I think they could keep this one close. Also, and again, this one might be razor thin. Talking about the Memphis defense in a positive light is just crazy, but are you guys seeing the 3-point defense from the Grizzlies in the last 10 games here?
I was going to mention that too. Yeah.
What is going on? Memphis, I mean, look.
It's a fluke, Kyle. It's a fluke.
See, I knew I was going to get this type of reaction. So,
well, Kyle, look, real quick before you finish. The only reason I'm saying it's a fluke, I'm just kidding. But remember last week I took Memphis and Minnesota under. First thing I came on here and said, Kyle, I said Memphis has been playing really good 3-point defense. They've been locking down the 3-point line. Minnesota shoots 97 for 98 from the 3-point line, scored 450 points in that game. So yeah, that's just my rebuttal. I can't take a Memphis under, but continue.
So in the last 5 games, Memphis is first in defensive efficiency against the 3-point shot, legitimately first. Seems like now that Jaren Jackson Jr. is back healthy, they're putting a ton of pressure on the perimeter, forcing you inside. It's not what Golden State wants to do. Again, it's razor thin. But both these teams have gone over the total at a pretty high rate against teams that shoot threes. And if Memphis is going to be top 10 3-point shooting, I know it's playoff basketball, but I had this total at 236. Again, my model's going to overshoot these because my model's based on regular season data, and we're now in the postseason. But I like the over. Took Memphis +7. Don't necessarily love either of them. Probably just doing some gambling, watching some postseason basketball here. But go ahead. You guys can go ahead and tell me how I'm reacting to a small sample size and falling for the soup.
You want to go first, Chris?
Go ahead, RC.
So, all right, from a side perspective, Kyle, I do agree with you. I think that the Grizzlies are the right side. I think from a momentum standpoint, these teams are going in opposite directions. I know it's just a small sample size, like you said, right? They fired Jenkins on the 28th or whatever, so that gives us like 8 or 7 games with their new head coach. But you mentioned the 3-point frequency, the 3-point defense, right? Going in opposite directions. Like they did win what? The Warriors were 3-3 in the last 6 games. And then you got that little post game interview that says, we're still trying to figure out rotation and all that stuff. So I mean, it's not like they're locked in and ready to go into the playoffs. Maybe the Warriors peaked at the wrong time, right? They did really well. They were 20-7 straight up after the All-Star break, but now they're having issues towards the end of the season, going into the most important part of the playoffs, the play-ins and all that stuff. And then historically, the Warriors in the play-ins are 0-3, and you look at the Grizzlies side, obviously a new head coach, but they're 2-0 in the play-in. So these players here that are on the roster, majority of them have experience in this play-ins, and they have difference in results. So to me, I think the Grizzlies are the right side. Do they win? I don't know. But if you look at the Warriors at home, when heavily favored by, I looked at 5 or more points, they're only 4-13-2 ATS on the season, 12-7 to the under. And then the Warriors with Butler have been a little bit better of a defensive team. So I'm looking towards the Grizzlies on the under.
Oh, the under. Okay. So
yeah.
And I know you mentioned that you like the unders in these games, and I can't say I even blame you for that. And something that you said about the Warriors in the play-in, I had that written down as well. Forgot to mention it. I mean, it kind of reminds me, if you remember last year, for those of you that were watching, I took Sacramento in that play-in game against Golden State. I believe the line was like 1 or 2. Everyone, the comments crucified me for it. Like, Steph in the playoffs against De'Aaron Fox. And the Kings beat the shit out of the Warriors in the play. Like, beat them to death. They win by 30 points? Like, they killed them. So I know we've all seen this Warriors team make some crazy magical playoff runs. So part of our brains wants to be like, oh, I can't see it happening, but it just did happen. The Kings beat the life out of the Warriors in the play-in tournament last year. So there's a path. Go ahead, Chris. Take Golden State square.
Oh man, square's a box here. I didn't bet it though. I didn't bet it. Don't put it up.
You're not bet. It's the play-in, dude. Bet
so
it.
Listen. The reason why I didn't bet it is because I got a Golden State to make the playoffs ticket at minus 140. Okay. So I could hedge, right, and take a plus 240 for Minnesota. I mean for Memphis to win the game. I just feel like Golden State is going to win this game. RC said a lot of things. You said a lot of things. I don't necessarily disagree with any of it. Here's the part I will disagree with and give some pushback for. So RC mentioned Golden State struggling down the stretch of the season, which they did. Like you can't even ignore that. They beat the Nuggets, then they lost to the Rockets on the second. Well, they had 1 day of rest, but I know there's a 4th game in 6 nights. Completely took Steph Curry out of the game in that one. They lost by 10, and then they got a big win against the Suns. Beat the Suns by 38. Second leg of a back-to-back, 17.5 point favorites, which is the reason why they're in this spot anyway, because you lose on a Harrison Barnes 3-pointer, which I shouldn't even be in this situation, but I am. So because you lose to the Spurs, then you beat the Trailblazers, and then the Clippers, they beat you. So what I'll argue, RC, is that the Warriors have faced 2 of the hottest teams in the NBA right now, with the Clippers, who won, I think, 8 of their last 9 of their last 10, something like that, and the Houston Rockets, who, I mean, surprise, surprise, Houston is number 2 in the Western Conference. Now we're talking about the Grizzlies, a team that can't stop anybody, anywhere, anytime, any place. So I do think that Golden State wins the game. Here's what I'll say if you want to lay the points with the Golden State Warriors, is that when they win, they do cover. Shout out to RC. He told me this trick a while ago. So when the Golden State Warriors win, they're 14-5-1 against the spread since the All-Star break. They're winning by an average of 16 points, including 6 straight covers. So when they win, they do cover. Meanwhile, you look at Memphis as a road dog since the All-Star break. It's happened 5 times. They've covered 0. They're 0-4-1, losing by an average of 13 points per game. All of their games have been by 6 or less, by 6 or more. So right where this spread is, and they're giving up an average of 126 points. So I do think that Golden State's going to be able to find some offense in this game. I'm not going to hedge my bet, and I'm not going to bet Golden State in this spot because I've really just got them to make the playoffs, which is like a money line ticket here.
Yeah, because I think that Memphis is going to turn up. Think deep down,
So the other thing I'll mention is this guy. So Steph has played Golden State. Steph has played against Memphis. The last 2 times he's had 50, or it was 50 or 52. The other game he had 2. So the game he had 2 was the games with Jalen Wells, who is a really good defender.
Wait, why is there only 2? Steph played them 3 times, I thought.
Right. I'm just talking about the last 2 because those are more recent. Those are more recent. In those two, he had 52. He had 50 in the last game in Memphis, and then he had 2 in the game before that. Jalen Wells was a part of that game. Jalen Wells is their best primary defender, especially for guard wise. Scottie Pippen Jr. I don't think he's necessarily it. With him landing on his wrist and breaking his arm and not being available, I think they're cooked. So yeah, I think that makes it even harder to slow down somebody like Steph. So I expect the Warriors to turn up. They understand what's at hand here. If they lose, they got to prepare to go face whoever win between the Kings and the Mavs tomorrow. And then if the Kings own them. The Kings do own them. That is true. And if they win, then they have a week off to kind of get prepared for Houston.
They need it. They want this.
Yeah, they absolutely want it. Also, Kyle, I'll tell you, the last thing I'll mention, you mentioned last year when the Kings smoked the Golden State Warriors. I'll never forget it. I was on Golden State in that game. Clay shot 0-4, I think it was 97 or 98 from the field. And I just knew it was over after that. So, yeah, I just want to make sure I mention it. I haven't bet on Clay because I'm still traumatized with how bad he shot the ball. Stayed up late on the East Coast watching that game last year.
All right, let's talk some Major League Baseball. Chris, see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Best of luck tonight, fellas.
And let's bring Toast on the screen first, and then I'll run through the standings. We got quite a few battles going on here. Hold on first. I got it. First, let's fix Toast's green screen here. So I need about 40 seconds to get into baseball mode. Whoa. Here we go. Now we're ready. All right. So, standings after day one of the new league. 126 people joined this week. So I upped the price to 250 cash is now where we're at. So in the Alabama yogurt division, Hans jumps out to an early lead. This is the worst division so far. I mean, 1.37 should not be in first place, but it is. Alabama yogurt is definitely the basement division this week. Northern Horse, we've got Jinwoo Sama, Civ, El Toro, Renz up top. Now, the division everyone's talking about is gas station pizza.
It's the NL West.
Yeah, it's a gauntlet. Clapping Cheeks. Clapping Cheeks is in first place, followed by Riddles, We Love Boobies, and S. And I mean, really, We Love Boobies said it. This is a dog fight. Gas station pizza is an absolute dog fight. Let's go to the bottom.
That's the best one. That's the best division right there.
I'm in Children of the Corn. I'm sitting in second place behind Dolo. Apollo is right behind me. Same goes for Dirty Sanchez. Gregory House MD. You got Frenchie and Sports Junkie up top. ET and Tinker right there as well. And the Relish division, P-Doc in first place, followed by Heem and Yo-Yo. Trevor Vandenbosch is right there in fourth in the Relish division. Now,
someone's name is Eric Ship these nuts.
I know. There's like 4 names trolling Shipley in the. All right, let's talk some scene.
Let's do this.
I can't believe in this first one. I can't believe the line is moving against me here. Who are these fake sharps betting the Pirates?
Yo, it's funny that you said that because I bet Washington first 5 last night, and then when I woke up and I saw I could get Washington plus 120, I said that's wrong, and so I bet the money line as well. So I'm in with you all the way.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, I consider the starting pitching matchup to be close to even. Jake Irvin's pretty good, and Mitch Keller is vulnerable. So I don't understand why, with a bunch of lefty bats in the Nats lineup, they're giving. I mean, look, if you want to have the Pirates as short favorites, I get it. Like. What, like minus 105? I mean, I'm sorry, minus 115 maybe. Like this is too much. I'm on the Nats. Line moved against me though, so you're on the Nats and the Nats first 5, right, Toast?
Yeah, I played them both. I do like the first 5 a little bit better, just trying to isolate Jake Irvin versus Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller has been kind of up and down this season, whatever. I mean, he had 1 good start at home, 1 bad start at home. I guess the home start against the Yankees, it is what it is. I don't think the Nats are that. That being said, he's coming off a 7-inning performance of 4 hits, no runs. I don't think he's going to be able to replicate that against the Nats team that's been pretty damn serviceable over their last 10 games, or the first 10 games of this season, I should say, not their last. But, I mean, they're scoring essentially over 4 runs a game in every game except for the game yesterday. And I know that Jake Irvin, when you look at his numbers on the surface, they're not great, but he also faced the Phillies, the Diamondbacks, and the Dodgers. So to say this is going to be a step down in class to face this Pittsburgh lineup is an understatement, to say the least. So again, I don't understand where Pittsburgh has any advantage here, because I truly don't even think they have a huge starting pitching advantage. On top of all of that, Pittsburgh used Ferguson and Lawrence in back-to-back days. So those are two of their top three arms. Santana went, who was their closer, was yesterday. And regardless of how you feel about the Washington bullpen, I mean, they're all rested and ready to go behind Jake Irvin. So, yeah, I don't understand it either. I don't really care. Yeah, Washington up.
Ron, you had texted me, said you only bet a few games. So if you
I only bet a few games, but I could talk about each one, and I can make a case for the Pirates because if I was to bet this one, that would be the way that I go. Obviously, you mentioned the Pirates offense, not great, right? But one of the best things, or one of the advantages that they do have against Jake Irvin is that they have a higher hard hit rate, right? And Jake Irvin, he's been struggling. If you look at some of his last 5 starts, he given up 7 homers in 24 and the third innings, 7 homers. And if you look at some of the teams that he faced, you got Dodgers, you got Arizona, Philly, that's 3 starts, and then a couple of starts from last season gave up I think 4 of the last 5 starts he's given up a home run, at least 4 hits, 6 runs in one of them against the Phillies and all that stuff. So he's not really that consistent as far as going against teams that have a high hard hit rate. And that's the only advantage that I can see here. But if you look at the other thing too, the fly ball rate, Jake Irvin's fly ball rate is pretty up there as well, 43.1%. So if the Pirates can get a hit, can get to Jake Irvin early, it might be in form of the long ball, and they could get like an early lead or whatever. But the Nationals bullpen is not that great either. So if they can get a lead early, they could potentially even get more runs later on. So the only way that I would look would be Pirates team total over or the Pirates on the money line.
Yeah, that is true, by the way. The Pirates, I don't know how. I had to double check it to make sure it was right, but the Pirates do weirdly have a decent hard hit rate against righty starters the last 6 or 7 they've seen. I don't know where that came from. I literally had to double check it because I was like, this sheet can't be right, but they do have a hard hit rate against righty starters.
Yeah, if you look at Nationals too, I'm just looking at some of the trends versus starting right-handed pitchers. They're 0-4 straight up against starting right-handed pitchers when they're on the road as a dog. And no, it's a slight dog, and that's a trend to look into as well.
Let's move on to the Snakes. I don't think I bet this one. I think I bet the 2 after. Yes, I bet the 2 after this. I don't think I have a bet on this one. Toast, did you take your over? Because it closed well. It's at 9 now.
Yeah, I took it last night. Yeah,
8.5 you got?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have tailed.
Yeah, just simple things for me. I think Connor Gillespie is a little bit of somewhat of a talent in this league. This is what Miami does. If there's one thing that Miami can do is they can turn pitchers from the minor leagues into very, very good ones. And we've seen that multiple times. Look at what Luzardo's doing in Philadelphia right now. But just as an example, but I do think Gillespie's good. But I don't know if he's going to continue to give you what he's performed at least the last 2 times. So I think that was more a combination of the Mets being kind of playing with their food at somewhat. But I mean, he did look good against his 2 starts against the Mets. I will give him that, but he didn't look good against Pittsburgh. So I have a hard time believing that he's going to look good against this Arizona team that's absolutely smashing the ball right now. I mean, Corbin Carroll, Pavin Smith, Eugenio Suarez all have hard hit rates of over 55%. I mean, Josh Naylor's up there. Josh Naylor is absolutely killing it for them. He's not striking out. He's walking a ton. I mean, he's been really, really good for them as well. I have a hard time believing that Arizona doesn't put up runs. I mean, this team is just absolutely loaded when it comes to against right-handed pitching. Against lefties, maybe not so much. That's yet to be determined. But against righties, they definitely have an advantage here. They're a top 5 offense in Major League Baseball. And then as far as Merrill Kelly goes against this Fish lineup, I just feel like this Fish lineup is kind of underrated right now. And I feel like they're starting now, the more that they start playing big league baseball and the more they get comfortable in the box, and we're starting to see that. I mean, 11, 7, 4, 5, 5, 0, 4, their last 8 games. So they're not having an issue scoring runs. And like I talked about on the Arizona side, guys hitting the ball hard. I mean, the Marlins have guys that can hit the ball hard too. I mean, Matt Burvis is killing the ball. Kyle Stowers is hitting the ball. Griffin Conine is killing the ball. So again, like I said last night, at the very top, I don't think Stowers and Mervis and Conine are as good as the guys on Arizona. But as far as this season so far, they've been hitting it just as hard and hitting it just as well. So I do think that both teams can score here. I know that Trevor liked the Miami team total over at 3.5. I don't hate that either, but I just think there's going to be a whole bunch of runs here. Not to mention, very last thing, sorry for being long-winded, but we know that Miami at home, their overs have just been a cash cow, and that's just another reason to continue bet these overs.
Yeah, it's pretty much all the 8.5s are gone though. I should have bet it last night. I'm not betting it at 9. Ronald, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, the first 5 over was the way that I looked on this one. If you look at some of the trends just for Kelly 3-0 on the first 5 over, you got the D-backs in general against starting right-handed pitchers, 8-2 to the first 5 over. Kelly's numbers are terrible. If you look at his advanced numbers, it doesn't seem like there's going to be any positive regression anytime soon. Toast already talked about the D-backs offense, and Gillespie, I know he's been pretty solid, but some of his numbers look towards a potential negative regression as well. In the Marlins bullpen, obviously, I agree with that full game over. The only reason why I didn't look at the full game and took the first 5 or look towards the first 5 is because the D-backs bullpen is pretty solid, and I want to kind of stay away from that. I think both of these starting pitchers will get touched up here. I think first 5 over is a solid one.
Dang, I should have bet this. I like what you said last night. I should have bet it. And you know what else? There's another one that Toast we both liked last night, and we would have crushed if we. I don't know. You might have bet it.
What?
Toronto. That's the one we should have.
I already know. I don't want to talk about it.
Why didn't we bet that?
I was so spot on. That's another one. Atlanta and Toronto, back-to-back days, same series, spot on. And I'm gonna get screwed, and I didn't bet either one. It's all good.
I bet the Atlanta the other night, but I knew that the bet was Toronto. Now, obviously, they still might lose, but we would be holding 24 cents.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd be sitting really pretty right now, and I'd be really comfortable in my position.
I do have a bet in this game. I'm pretty
really quickly. Sorry, in that last game, Pavin Smith, Dinger Tuesday. He's one of my guys.
Oh, you're listening to the model.
I don't have access to the model, Kyle.
Yeah, but I brought it up. Take it back. Take it back. No, I brought it up on the screen last night, and Pavin Smith was the number one.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We did talk about that. Yeah.
What's the best you can get for Reds money line now? Because what I got is gone. -115. You can get a -110 still. All right, so it's not too far gone. I have the Reds first 5 money line at +100. That's my bet, and I like it. Toast will tell you, and although I do think Toast is a little ridiculous with his take, and he's trying to be like a hot take guy when he talks about Luis Castillo, he's trying to be Skip Bayless with it. Like he's playing to the crowd a little bit when he says his Luis Castillo is average. He's not average. I think he's an above average pitcher, but I will say he's not a pitcher I'm scared to fade, especially in Great American. I mean, it's a revenge. For those of you that don't know, Luis Castillo started his career in Cincinnati, pitched there for a long time. So it's like his return. It's his first. I'm fairly certain it's his first time pitching in front. Yeah, it's his first time pitching here since leaving. So. Look, I obviously it's a cool spot for him, but it's also a cool spot for the city of Cincinnati. Just light his ass up. But regardless, I like Lodolo. I don't like this Mariners lineup. It's plain and simple. You're going to give me the home team with – I'm going to come right out and say I think I have the starting pitching advantage here. So I think I have the better starting pitcher at home at +100. And I would still bet it at the -110. I would price this at like -120 for the Reds in the first 5. I think Lodolo is a small step above Castillo. And honestly, I'd probably take the Reds bats over Seattle. Maybe the bullpen's comparable, but even the Reds bullpen has been nice. But we're not talking about the bullpen regardless. I like this bet. Reds first 5. Ronald, you want to go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just it has Chris's name under Toast. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Oh, shit. I'll switch.
Sorry, Chris. You're going to get some hate comments. You're going to get some hate comments like you ain't never seen, brother.
All right, for me, real quick, I'm on the opposite side. Kyle, I think it's the Mariners. I think
first 5 or full game?
The full game. I do trust the Mariners bullpen a little bit more than the Reds. I think from a starting pitcher perspective, I can see what you're saying about Castillo. His surface level numbers pretty solid, 2.12 ERA. His xFIP and xERA is above, so obviously negative regression is potentially coming, but I don't think it's going to be against this Reds team just because if you look at the Reds bats, their barrel rate and their hard hit rate are towards the bottom of the league, and I think that they strike out at a high rate. They're not good. Their walk rate is pretty low too. So I don't know if the Reds offense is going to be good enough to take advantage of Castillo. On the other side, you see Lodolo. His number is 0.96 ERA. His xFIP is way up to 4. I think that the runs per game on the Mariners side they're underperforming in my opinion. I think they have a 9.3 barrel rate, 41.5 hard hit rate. So if they can get contact on Lodolo, whose K rate is only 3.86, Mariners, even since last year, they struggled against strikeout pitchers. He's not one of them. So if they can get contact on the ball, there might be a chance that they get runs on. And then the bullpen should be able to keep that lead if possible. So I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, but I think if from a side perspective, I feel like it's the Mariners money line. That would be the way that I go.
I will say that I'm more open to a Mariners argument on the full game. I like that Mariners bullpen a lot, and I have since last year. Munoz is my guy. So I am more open to the Seattle side in the full game. I like Lodolo over Castillo, though. Toast, did you bet the Reds here?
Yeah, I bet the Reds last night at plus 105. It was one of the first bets I made. I do. Castillo's a guy that I especially want to fade on the road. There's no question about that. I also think that his numbers look really, really good. You're always going to look good when you're pitching in Seattle. That just always helps. His first three starts have been in Seattle against three kind of. I mean, I guess Detroit's decent, but Athletics and Houston kind of lackluster offenses right now. So now being on the road, I'll give you that the Reds offense it doesn't do anything. I will give you that, but I do give them a tiny bit of a bump. In Great America Ballpark. They actually started scoring some runs over the last 4 games, and Lodolo has faced the Giants team that I think is shattering expectations. We'll just put it that way, the way that they're playing so far to start the year. And he looked very, very good against this team. And we know that's a solid lineup. And Milwaukee is a good lineup. I know that Milwaukee versus left-handed pitching isn't something to write home about, but regardless, that's a good, solid lineup that knows how to hit. So I think this is a really good spot for Nick Lodolo to face a Seattle team that's, a lot of swing and miss. I know the Lodolo strikeouts haven't been there, but if you listen to somebody like Trevor, who watches him like a hawk, who bets him to win the Cy Young every single year, tries to true. He tries to tell you he has a lot of 0-2 counts or 2-strike counts. He's been getting a little.
People in the comments are saying his spin rate is down, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's early. It's very early, and it's cold, so that doesn't help either. So maybe, and he was in San Francisco. I wouldn't pay attention too much to that, but maybe. But regardless, you have guys like Julio, Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena, Donovan Solano. Who else strikes out a lot? Anyway, a lot of people on the Mariners striking out a lot. Yeah, so I just think this is a pretty decent matchup for Lodolo, and like I've been preaching since the first week of the season, the Reds bullpen is just absolutely nails right now. I don't know if there's a unit that's kind of being overlooked more in Major League Baseball right now than this Reds bullpen, who's been essentially dominant to start the year. So
still, you take the Mariners bullpen first in the long run.
Not right. Long run, sure, but not right now.
I don't even think they're at full strength right now. For the Mariners?
Not. You need when you put Brash back in, you're good. I'm with you 100%. If you give me Munoz, Thornton, and Brash, I'm with you.
I like Spear. He's cool.
I do too, but I think Thornton's the guy you're going to need more than anybody.
So for this next one, it's almost not even worth talking about because my bet is so long gone. I got the Phillies' first 5 run line at plus 102. It's now minus 125. So I wouldn't bet it at this price. It's gone.
Sniper.
So just a pass for me at the current price. I actually kind of think the Giants are going to win the game, if I'm being honest. But I have the Phillies first 5 run line plus 102. If you're wondering what bet I actually have, it's just you can't get that. So, Ronald, anything for this one?
Yeah, I was looking towards the first 5 under 4.5. Luzardo, he's been pretty solid this season. I think he has good control, high strikeout rate, low walk rate, doesn't give up a ton of homers. Giants, they rely heavily on the homers, but I think their strikeout rate is actually higher, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so Giants, their strikeout rate is pretty high. Their contact is pretty solid. Hard hit rate's pretty solid. So a lot of those numbers, I think, to me, it won't be that great against Luzardo just because of how he's been pitching, and his numbers are pretty consistent overall. The other thing is, if you look at Verlander, I know his ERA is in that solid 6.92. But I think we see positive regression here. His xFIP 3.74, xERA 3.94. He should be able to get pretty deep into the game as well. So in my opinion, even if they don't, even if he doesn't, Giants bullpen is pretty solid. But I think he gets through the first 5, and if we see positive regression on his side, Luzardo keeps doing his thing. I think under 4.5 is the way to go in that one.
Toast, I can't remember what you said last night about this game.
I played the over. That's what I did. Full game over for me. But hold on, let me pull up the park factor. I just want to make sure 100% what it says. But it's going to be a pretty decent day. It's like 60 degrees, but it's going to be wind blowing out to right field. but it's like 15-mile-an-hour winds or more. But besides the weather, I do kind of want to think that we're going to get a lackluster performance from Luzardo sooner or later. I watched him a lot in Miami, and he's looked fantastic these first 3 starts. But again, I don't know if it's feasible to think that he's going to go out there and give you 6-7 innings of 1-run baseball every time he pitches this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that the Giants versus left-handed pitching isn't like anything to write home about, but at the same time, I mean, it's not like they're terrible. I mean, a Chapman's over at 800 OPS, Fitzgerald is over a 900 OPS, Ramos absolutely kills left-handed pitching, Schmidt kills left-handed pitching, Lamont late night Lamont Wade is at 840 OPS. So there's definitely guys there, and I think that San Francisco's kind of playing over their heads right now, which regardless on how you feel about them, like they're playing really, really good baseball right now, and they're scoring a ton of runs. Their last 5 games, 10, 5, 4, 9, and 8. So this team is scoring runs against the Yankees and Phillies. So I have a hard time believing it. They don't put anything on the board. And then as far as Verlander's concerned, I don't think that he's as bad as what we've seen from him.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like he's still 45 years old, and the balls are coming off every time that people make contact. The balls are coming off at an extreme, like 88 miles an hour or more. That's really, really bad. So I do think there's some possibilities of some long balls here. He can strike out some people. He might get some strikeouts tonight against this Phillies offense that can definitely swing and miss at times. But I just think with the weather and the total being at 8, I'll take my chances that we see.
I don't really get though. And Wag said it best. If the wind's blowing 20 miles an hour out, Verlander with a 6.92 ERA, why are they giving us an 8 flat? It seems like a sketchy low number.
We'll see.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
I don't think the wind's blowing. Well, the wind's not blowing out like home
blowing
run
to right
out.
field.
No, but it's blowing like this.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I'm looking at ballpark. I see. So it's not blowing out. That's not accurate. It's blowing to first base.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a much better way to put it. So I don't think I just wanted to point that out because I know we talk about weather and stuff. So that the weather wasn't. I actually think that Luzardo might give up a few. I'm dead on.
Did you want to say a few words about what the fuck did you say last night? IBMS or something? What did you say?
The barometric pressure and the pressure and how,
for those of you that missed that last night, dude. The MBs. He's like, should be about 1,100 MBs. Talking about the pressure.
Which is what? Good or bad?
Which is no one cares. It's Cleveland on the road in Baltimore. So I have this one modeled out. Let's let Ronald go first because we were both kind of dumbfounded by this line last night. I have this one modeled out. Cleveland as a short favorite in the game. So where do you see this game? Because it's so off that I feel like I'm missing something.
So for me, my model, Kyle, I have a model as well. The value is on the Guardian side, but I still have the Orioles as slight favorites. The one way that I was kind of pivoting was actually taking the Orioles first 5 team total over 2.5. I think both pitchers have been pretty bad, in my opinion. You see Morton, he's 0-3, but if you look at the advanced numbers, Logan Allen 3.6 ERA, but his xFIP and xERA are like 2 runs higher than what it is. So I think there's going to be some negative regression. He has control issues as well, 6.3 walk per 9. He hasn't been shown to be a strikeout pitcher either. So I think we see some struggles on his side. And I'm not going to back Charlie Martin. That's the only reason why I didn't want to look towards the Orioles side. But I think the Orioles bats can get to him, to Logan Allen. Then I'm going to get, obviously first 5, you get rid of the bullpen where I think Guardians are pretty solid. So I would stay away from that and just focus in on that first 5.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it last night. It depends on. It's a rock and a hard place. On one side, you've got Logan Allen, who could get tattooed with the best of them. I mean, he does it with
my righty bats.
Yeah, he does it with class too. No one could give up 7 in an inning like Logan Allen. He's mastered the art of giving up 7 runs in an inning. That being said, the Orioles' numbers against lefties are a little concerning. I'm going to put Cleveland up because I think at the number, I don't know how you can make a case for the Orioles' fair price to be -170. And I don't know how you can make that case. So I'll put Cleveland up. But I didn't bet this one as much as I wanted to. Also, Cleveland offensively has me scratching my head, too. They're a shell of what they were last year. So Cleveland are past that, but +128, but I didn't bet it.
If I'm not betting this game. If I had to, it'd be Baltimore first 5-run line. I think
You
it's
said
pretty
Cleveland last night, dude.
Yeah,
Everyone
I know,
bailed on me.
Yo, I don't even know if I said Cleveland.
You said the
Cleveland
line
at the
sketchy,
price.
Cleveland or pass or
Yeah.
something.
I just think that now that the fact that this line's got even worse, like at some point I just believe that the books feel that Charlie Morton is going to deal, and he did deal against this Cleveland team last year, went 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs. So I mean, it's there, and we know that there is times that Uncle Charlie can get up for a game every once in a while. So I wouldn't be surprised at that. And then on top of that, Logan Allen, like you said, has mastered the class of giving up runs, and he's also facing 7 righty bats in that lineup. So that Baltimore lineup. So yeah, it would be Baltimore first 5-run line. I would need plus 100 or better to get it. You're not going to get that. So I didn't bet it.
Well, you both kind of hinted that you like Baltimore early, so maybe Orioles take a 3-0 lead, and with exaggerated price, maybe I get a nice Cleveland plus 3.5 in the fourth.
Yeah, you could do that.
Let's go on to the next one. Toast, you've been very vocal about how you don't like this Baltimore bullpen.
I will continue to do that as well.
I don't get it though. You don't like Bautista, Cano? There's names in there.
Well, okay. If Bautista is back, that changes things a little bit for me.
He is back.
Again, I mean back.
Oh,
But
you mean
yes.
like back and producing how he was in 23.
But again,
Okay.
as long as so far so good, yes. But again, it's the same thing that we talked about with the Phillies the last couple of years. If you have guys like Sir Anthony Dominguez and Gregory Soto and Keegan Aiken in that bullpen, it's like a ticking time bomb, and you never know when it's going to bite you. And it's just something that I don't want to get involved with. And to be honest, Cano hasn't really been that dominant anymore anyway. I don't really worry about him, but we'll see.
Let's go on to Kansas City on the road in Yankee Stadium here. I actually don't remember. I have no idea. I don't remember what you said at all in this game. I know I didn't bet it, but I don't even remember what you said last night.
Appreciate you listening. I played the over is what I did.
Okay.
So
It must not have been that enlightening, or else I would have.
Probably wasn't. First and foremost, the weather. Really good weather here at Yankee Stadium, around 60 degrees with the wind blowing out to right field at like 15 miles an hour. I don't like the fact that it's still at 8.5. I was hoping that it would come to 9 today, but it is what it is. I do want to fade Max Fried off of that. I say game of the life like this, but game of the life type of performance on the road at Detroit, where he went 7 innings, looked fantastic, 11 strikeouts, no walks, 5 hits, but again, looked very, very good. Now we're facing a Kansas City team that we know isn't really good, but I will say that they're a little bit better versus left-handed pitching. They definitely got guys like Freddie Fermin and Jonathan India that have much better numbers versus left-handed pitching. Sorry, Salvi Perez is another one as well. I don't think you guys really need me to talk about Bobby Witt Jr. either, but I mean, yeah, he can hit lefties as well. So I do think there's a way for Kansas City to score runs, and I think that the Yankees might absolutely destroy Michael Wacha today. So I know that he's been pretty decent at times, but sooner or later he's going to give it up, and all of his starts so far has been at home this year. Now he's going to be playing in this little league ballpark with the wind blowing out. I truly believe there's a chance that he just absolutely gets taxed today. So yeah, you're over 8.5 for me.
I will say it's a little concerning that there is significant wind blowing out, like significant, and it's blowing out pretty much the dead center. So
and the Yankees bullpen, sorry. Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, 2 of the last 3 days. Fernando Cruz, 20 pitches yesterday. Tim Hill, back-to-back days. So you're looking at Mark Leiter, and Ian Hamilton for the so yeah, we're good.
My uncle, diehard Yankee fan, hates him. Like, what is this
sure he
asshole
does.
doing on the team? All right, anyway. It's a little concerning for an over because there's heavy wind blowing out. The Yankees bullpen is taxed. All that is true. It was 8.5. It went up to 9, then got bought back down to 8.5. So somewhere there are sharp action that came in and bought those unders at 9. What do you think, Ronald?
I think the Yankees run line. I think that like what Toast said, they're gonna torch Wacha. I think the starting pitcher advantage is on the side of the Yankees and Fried. Yankees bullpen is pretty solid, in my opinion, overall. I think they should be able to do their part if they get an early lead. I mean, I don't know what the prices of the first 5-run line is, but that might be a better way to go. But I think full game run line is pretty solid as well. I think offensively, there's a huge advantage on the Yankee side versus Wacha, who's has some control issues right now. The fly ball rate is pretty high at 50%. There's just a lot of things pointing towards the Yankees to be able to just kind of smash this game right now.
Mm-hmm. His hard hit percentage, exit velocity, all bad too. So,
next one, Boston. I took the Red Sox.
Dude, I did it too. I waited. I got an extra 5 cents, but I'm in.
It did, yeah, I thought it was going to move down. It didn't. Walker Buehler against Pep Biel. It's ugly. It's one of those ugly ones. No one's going to want to bet Boston here, but I guess Toast did it also. I did bet this. Are we really going to? Are we really thinking that the Rays are going to have a better offense than the Red Sox this year? Like, this shit is eventually going to turn around, and when it does, you're going to be hitting on a nice price. Now, Toast lost on the Red Sox yesterday, so I understand why he's a little more hesitant because he already dipped his hands into that pool. I haven't. So, yeah, I'm on the Red Sox here. It's ugly. No one's going to like it, but I think this is the kind of price where we might look back in a couple months and be like, remember when we were getting Red Sox at plus 115 against the Rays? That was crazy. So, yeah, I'm on Boston. Toast. What do you think, Ronald?
I think it's Boston as well. I know Rays offense is on fire right now, but I think the two pitching staffs are going in opposite directions. The advanced numbers tell me, I feel like the advanced numbers on the pitching staff for both the starting pitcher and the bullpen on the Rays side, a lot of negative regression that I see, positive regression on the Boston side for Buehler and the bullpen. Offensively, I think there's things that they could take advantage of because you see the Red Sox hard hit rate is 45.1%, a lot higher than I think what most people expect just because they only got 13 home runs on the season. So they're probably not really expecting runs to be had on that Red Sox side, but this is the pitcher that they're going to have to take advantage of right here. 2.25 home runs per 9, home run per fly ball ratio is pretty high as well. So I think the Red Sox can get to him.
All right, next game. Next up is Atlanta-Toronto. Toast, we missed it. Me and Toast both said we liked Toronto at plus 110 last night. I think I've seen it's close to a Pickem on some of these now.
I was so pissed off this morning. I didn't even have my monster in me, and I was already pissed off when I saw this.
I was same when I saw it when I was drinking coffee this morning. I was like, "You motherfucker!" Like, I wouldn't bet Toronto here.
No, not at the price.
So it's a straight pass for me.
Yeah, it's a straight pass. I do think why we liked Toronto is the situation why I liked Atlanta against Easton Lucas is a completely different situation. Now, somebody in your comments did say they hit 2 home runs off of off-speed pitches, so that does help if you're on the Braves side. But Kevin Gausman and Easton Lucas don't pitch the same way. Easton Lucas relies on his fastball and everything. Kevin Gausman not. He has an array of pitches. So Atlanta hasn't really been good against spin. So today I think is a completely different animal. So I think there's an avenue for Gausman to pitch well here. And then you're never going to hear me say a bad thing about Shvelly. So it is what it is. I thought it was a little bit better, a bad situation for Atlanta as far as the bats are concerned. I don't think they're all the way back yet. I think yesterday or 2 days ago, whatever it is, against Easton Lucas was just a really good situation for them. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what I said last night, I had the Braves yesterday. It was nice get the Braves, but plus 110. I just thought it was a misprice. In fact, I believe my exact words were this should be closer to a pick. That's why you play the plus 110. That's what the value is. Now it is closer to a pick, which means I think it's where it's supposed to be. So no bet for me. Ronald, anything here?
I was looking towards the under, or even specifically the Braves team total under. I don't know if they're going to be able to get to Gausman. I don't know. The Blue Jays bullpen, I think, is pretty solid as well. I think a lot of people were going to look towards the Braves side just because of who they have on the mound right now, and they're going to automatically back them. But I think there's a way to fade the Braves without having to fade them on the side, right? Just take their team total under. I think they're going to struggle offensively. It's not like they're scoring at a high rate anyways, regardless. So team total under on the Braves side was the way that I was looking.
Also, one other thing I forgot to mention. Also, yesterday, Toronto was coming home from a 9-game road trip. So, the spot for them in general wasn't great. They had also used their bullpen arms the day before. Everybody got the day off yesterday. Now they've been home for a few days with their wife and kids and stuff. So they should be a little bit more ready.
All right. Next. Grimace. I don't really have much to say on this one. Last night I said originally I liked the under. Toast kind of talked me into the Mets. It's Mets or under for me, but I'm not betting it. The Mets are going to drop one of these games in Minnesota. They're not going to sweep. Maybe it's this one. Maybe it's tomorrow. But the Mets are not going to sweep the Twins. They took last night. I thought the Mets were going to lose last night. They won. So maybe it's this one they drop. I'll put Mets up because we're talking about a significantly better team at almost a pick 'em, but they're going to drop one of these, so I'm not betting this.
Yes, they're gonna drop the one tomorrow. Festa's about to get his revenge from the bullshit that happened his first start. That's what's going to happen. I bet the Mets today. It's just too cheap. It's just too cheap of a price for me to pass. Minnesota's really, really bad. I'm not just fading Minnesota. Like I think that Tyler McGill is kind of getting to the point where he's severely underrated the way that he's been pitching going back to last year. And I truly believe that. Going back, I mean, he's had his worst start in his last 7 starts. His worst start was on the road in Atlanta, where he went 5 2/3 and gave up 3 runs. Still had 8 strikeouts, 2 walks. But again, that's the worst he's performed. And he's also been on the road in Toronto, Nationals, Atlanta, Houston, Miami, Philadelphia. So, I mean, he's faced some decent lineups throughout this time as well. So, on top of the fact that I don't really think that Bailey Ober is very good at all. I mean, the only team that he saw that is somewhat a formidable offense was the Cardinals, and they got to him. And the Cardinals versus right-handed pitching aren't even that good. You want them versus left-handed pitching. And the one thing that we know about the Royals in Houston, the other 2 teams that he pitched against, they can't hit right-handed pitching to save their life. The Mets can hit righties. There's no question about that. So I know that they're a little bit better versus lefties, but I don't worry about this Mets lineup. Excuse me, I gotta sneeze. Versus righties, but yeah, too cheap on the Mets. I bet the Mets. Excuse me.
Toast. 76% to 12% on the Mets in our poll.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
Sure, you don't. All right.
No, I bet the Mets knowing that. I mean, in what world are we going to be polling half and half on the Twins and Mets?
I just put under up. I'm not betting that. I have this weird feeling the Mets are going to lose, to be honest. Ronald?
Yeah, I mean, this one's pretty interesting. I think that it's Mets or nothing, but at the same time, I agree with the under too. So if you think this is pretty tricky, the under might be the better way to go, because even if the Mets just dominate this game, are they going to go, like 9-0 or 8-1 or whatever it is? I don't think they're going to dominate the matchup, because the Twins bullpen is pretty solid in my opinion. I think if Ober gets hit up early, if they take him out early enough, maybe the Mets start to struggle in the later part of the game. And then on the Mets side, I'm not too sure how much offense they're going to generate against McGill, and the Mets bullpen is pretty solid as well. So I think under, if you don't like the side because of the number, thinking it's kind of tricky or whatever, I think the under is a solid way to go.
All right, I agree.
For the record, this Mets offense will break out sooner or later. It might not be tonight, but Pete Alonso, Soto, Nimmo, Beatty, Lindor, Torrens, all hard hit percentages over 50%. Well, okay, sorry, Soto's at like 48. But
yeah, as a team, they're hard hit and their barrel rates towards the top of the league,
so
and they only got 13 home runs. Yeah.
So sooner or later, they're going to hit for some power. It's just a matter of time.
All right, so I'm going to be very clear about how I feel for this one. How I feel about this one. I do think it's a sneaky spot to take Milwaukee with the Priest on the mound. I'm a big Priest guy. That being said, I can't bet it because the market's all over it. Minus 102 against Flaherty with Priester. It means the market nuked this. I mean, I should be getting plus 120. So at this price, I can't say I like Milwaukee, even though I do have a feeling they're going to win. Priester against Flaherty, I'm going to need a little more than minus 102. So I'm putting the Brewers up as my pick. Unfortunately, there's just not enough meat on the bone here. Give me plus 120 and I'll take the Priest.
You can get that same bet as me. Brewers plus 120 in the first 5 to back the Priest if you'd like.
It's still available?
Yep, still available. I think that I agree with Kyle that Priester can pitch well here. I know Detroit has been very, very good, but I mean, they're coming off Scooby Day where they scored 9 runs. I mean, they're not that good. I mean, they've been really good, but they're not that good. And Priester's been really good. I mean, his one start was on the road in Colorado. I know that offense isn't good, but to give up 1 run and then going back to last year, again, it's nothing spectacular. Like, he gives up runs. I'm not trying to make a case that he's like some dark horse Cy Young candidate, but at the the same time, I think this price is there for a reason, and I want to fade Jack Flaherty. I mean, he's coming off of three starts that have been really, really good for him, and it's sooner or later he's going to break. And finally, this Brewers team is going to face a right-handed pitcher, which is really big for them because if there's one thing we know about the Brewers, they can't touch lefties, but they're one of the better offenses in baseball versus righties, especially at home. So you're getting a nice plus price, at least in the first 5. Even if you were getting a plus price in the full game, there's no way in hell you can trust that Brewers bullpen at all in any way, rested or not. So yeah, I'm sticking to the first 5 here. I think that Flaherty has a little bit of a mediocre day today.
Yeah, I like that at plus 120. In fact, the way the Brewers bullpen has looked, why are they giving them the advantage in the late innings? If it's plus 120 through the first 5, minus 102 full game, they're giving Milwaukee a significant advantage in the late innings. How does that make sense?
It doesn't at all.
I might bet the Priest with you. What do you think, Ronald?
And I got plus 110, by the way. And so you can get a little bit better.
This one, I agree with what both of you guys are saying. I think Flaherty might get touched up, but then on the Brewers side, their bullpen kind of, I feel like they're going to get touched up. So the way that I pivoted or was looking to pivot here is actually looking towards runs plus RBIs, because I saw a couple of guys who had pretty decent pricing. 1+ runs and RBIs for Torque is plus 102, and then Terang is minus 103. I thought both of those guys could either get a run or an RBI in this game against these pitchers and the pitching staff. So staying away from the side, maybe look towards the over, but I like the prices on both of those guys.
You can get, by the way, you can get a Milwaukee first 5 plus a half run at minus 125.
Please don't.
All right, let me see what the first one. I think I might bet this right now. I like the Priest, man. He's a good pitcher. No one knows it yet. No one knows it.
Yeah, I think his numbers are just it's off just because he played at Coors in his first start. So if they look at his season numbers, it's gonna be wacky.
Let's just move on to the next one. I would imagine we're not going to spend a ton of time on this one. Athletics minus 161 favorite. Toast, you had mentioned that you were flirting with the idea of laying the 1.5, but it didn't sound like you were going to do it.
Yeah, don't want to do it. If I actually was kind of wanted to see what everybody wanted to do. I think I wanted to play the over.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like it's kind of low at 7.5, and I don't understand. I guess maybe I'm overthinking it at this point. I just don't understand why it's 7.5. I love Sean Burke, but I mean, after being like a sweet prince to me for 5 or 6 starts, he's been absolutely been wamboozled by 2, very bad offenses in Cleveland and Minnesota. So I have a hard time believing that he's not going to give some up to this Athletics team. And then Jeffrey Springs, on the other hand, I don't really know what to think of him because he has 2 starts against 2 really good offenses that were bad in a AAA ballpark with the Cubs and the Padres. So hard to grade out about that. But on the road at Seattle, that was really good. I don't know if he's able to continue to throw shutout innings on the road like that. And I don't know. I would say put it over up for me. This one's got me all tongue-tied. I don't know. This one's kind of hard for me.
Well, Ronald went like this when you said over. It sounds like
because that was initially where I was leaning to. I don't know how much I could trust the White Sox offense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
To. So I was looking at in that direction. But one way that I pivoted, and I was looking at runs and RBIs again. 1+ runs and RBIs for Soderstrom is actually minus 120.
Touché.
Yeah, so that was the way that I pivoted, just because I feel like if there's going to be runs, it's going to be on the A side. Don't know if they're going to get up and over, but I think at least Soderstrom would be the guy to get the run or the RBI in. So minus 121, I thought was a decent price.
I had Rooker. He was on there as well.
And that was minus 120, you said?
Yeah.
For Soderstrom?
Yeah.
SODE. It doesn't matter.
I spelled it wrong. Whoops. There it is, though, on the screen.
Soderstrom. There's like a lot of letters off.
Astros Cardinals at Busch here. I don't know. I said Astros last night, but then I went first, and then what Toast was saying about Fetty, it kind of made sense. So I get why. If you're taking the Cardinals, I'll say I get it at the plus 110. The way the Astros are hitting right now, even if Hunter Brown even if we knew going into this one, Hunter Brown was going to give us 7 innings, 1-run ball. Are you even still confident that the Astros win that baseball game? Because I think the answer is no. So I don't know. I guess under. I really don't. To be honest, I don't even have an opinion. Toast.
I don't know. I guess I don't know. I'm just being honest with you guys. I do think that the Astros offensively have starting to gain a little bit of traction. I know that last night wasn't great, but I do feel like they're a little bit better than what the numbers say that they are. Regardless if that's true or not, we'll see. But they just look a little bit better to me in that eye test. I don't have no fancy model. I just have my eyes that tell me what I know. But
what a loser!
And but the thing for me is I don't know what to think about Eric Fetty because he has faced 3 pretty much bad offenses so far this year. He has 2 pretty good starts, 1 really bad start in Boston. And if that start was in Boston it was just one of those days, and it is what it is, and it's a blip on the radar, then that might be it. Because I mean, he's going back even to the end of last year and all through last year, he was pretty damn solid for St. Louis. And the Astros aren't a team, especially versus right-handed pitching right now, that's really scared me. So if I don't know, I do feel like Hunter Brown pitches really well tonight. I would say if I had to gun to my head, first 5 under 4 -110. If I had to bet this
first
game.
5 under 4, it gun to your head.
Yeah,
I actually kind of like that, to be honest. Because what do you, Ronald? Do you co-sign a first 5 under here? Because that's kind of what I was leaning. That kind of feels.
If it's a under, I would say it would be the Cardinals team total under. I think that Fetty could get hit. Obviously, you mentioned a lot of things about the Astros offense. It's not correlating to runs, but they do have a strong hard hit rate, and you have Fetty who 47.7% fly ball rate. He's been giving up home runs, 1.2 in his. I mean, he gave up two home runs in his second start against Boston. I saw that one, but if you look at control issues, last 2 starts, 8 walks total in 9 innings. That's some stuff that you could probably fade, right? Because I mean, he's going to want to get that in the strike zone. That's going to get in solid position for the Astros to get that hard hit rate up a little bit more. If maybe they get their barrel rate up a little bit on this one too, they can get some homers in there. So homer per fly ball rate, pretty decent, but I think that's gonna go the opposite direction. If you look at some of the advanced metrics, I mean, his surface level number is 4.2 ERA, but you got 5.99 xFIP. That's negative regression calling out right now, and it could be against this Astros offense who might be able to start to turn things around. Obviously, they got the speed factor. It's just a matter of them getting on base. And Fetty seems like he could get hit up on this one. And the Cardinals bullpen is not that much greater than the Astros too. So I actually look towards the Astros on the full game. But if you ask me on the first 5 perspective, I would say team total under on the Cardinals side. I don't know if they're going to get to Hunter.
Wait, so if hold on. If Ronald, if you like the Astros to get to Fetty, I think we should play the -130 because I like Hunter Brown.
Here's another thing too, is that I'm glad that you mentioned that speed situation, because the Astros are like one of like the fastest teams, are like, especially on the bases. I mean, they have a lot, like Pena, Myers, Cam Smith, Dubon. I mean, all those guys are extremely fast, and the Cardinals are using like their backup catcher. So there could be, if Fetty has issues walking guys, and you get some of these guys that are fast on base, that could cause some issues for St. Louis as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I wouldn't mind a Houston first 5 either. I just don't know what to expect from Fetty. I get all of his numbers say he should get absolutely rocked. Like everything that you Capper said was 100,000% right. But somehow, some ways, that rat bastard always goes out there and freaking pitches well. I don't know how he does it.
Didn't he go to like the Japanese league and like reconstruct his throw?
Out,
yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, he went and pitched in another league and he came back with like a new windup or something. It was like awesome. So yeah, I'd just get me to the next game because it doesn't. We were just like talking in circles. It doesn't sound like any of us even loved. Angels, Texas is in Arlington. Oh, did I tell you on this toast? I hope so. I mean,
no, you didn't, because people were worried about Molly and Corbin.
Is it definitely?
It's definitely Molly right now.
All right, let's do it. I'll bet this with you. Damn, I have like 7 MLB bets open. This is dangerous work. It's dangerous work.
I mean, I only got 2 MLB bets,
Under my
but
life.
we agreed on a lot today that I might end up just taking late.
Just dip
I
your
mean,
toes in, boys. I just jump in. I get naked.
We're
I just
aware.
Jump in.
We're aware. So Toast, I'm tailing you on Texas. Go ahead, tell everyone why you like Texas.
Well, I think that Tyler Molly's back, and he's back. I do a little bit worry about him. I mean, he hasn't pitched in 2 years, and so he's working into that 90, 85 plus pitch counts. So I do think that fatigue will get there sooner or later. But I do think that he has a pretty good matchup against this Angels team that, again, I know that they've been performing extremely well, but I do think they've been performing higher than expectations. That's for sure. There's a lot of hard hits there, but even guys like Mr. Paris, that he's like the flavor of the week right now, who's hitting the ball at like a 60% hard hit rate. We've seen this before from him, and then he's went and been a AAA player. So this isn't the first time we've seen this. Same thing with my beloved Joe Adele, who's my wife's favorite player. We've seen this from Joe Adele before too, who's hitting the ball really hard. So again, when they're pitching a guy like Molly against a guy, or facing a guy against Molly that can really know how to pitch and can spin and has multiple pitches to get these guys out, I really like the matchup for Molly. Kikuchi, on the other hand, I will give you that this Rangers lineup isn't anything to write home about, but they're significantly better versus left-handed pitching. There's no doubt about that. I mean, especially against guys like Adolis Garcia, even guys that they brought over like Kevin Pillar, significantly better against left-handed pitching. I know that Kevin Pillar means nothing. My point being is that they're significantly better in all these spots compared to right-handed pitching. And Kikuchi's a guy that I actually think that, like the Tampa Bay line, for instance, he went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. That wasn't great, but at the same time, he had one bad inning. He gave up that grand slam early, and then he pitched well. Like, I don't think that he's as bad as what those numbers show, but I just really, really hate the spot for Houston. This is going to be their start of their third road trip, or third series of this road trip for a young group of guys against a Texas team that kind of just got embarrassed on their last road trip in Seattle and Chicago, and now coming back home. I think this is a really good spot with Texas with the rested bullpen as well. So yeah, I bet Texas at -120.
I just tailed you. I'm in. Ronald, you in?
I would look in that direction, but I was more looking towards the total to the over. I think there's going to be a lot of positive regression on that Rangers offense, especially now at home. And they just came off a series against Seattle. Obviously, they're not going to put up a good chunk of points there. So I think that maybe the books are not expecting them to get some runs here. But they scored 6 total in those 3 games? I think they're going to be able to get a bunch here.
Chicago too.
Yeah, was the wind going in or something? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it was 40 degrees, so
Oh,
they're
yeah,
all
that's
wearing
true.
hoodies.
So I think they're going to start to go the opposite direction as far as their offense goes. I mean, they got a lot of power. They got 18 home runs, even though they're only averaging 3.2. So they rely on the home run ball. They're going to be at home. And then the Angels, their bats have been really solid too to start the season. Obviously, starting pitcher wise, Kikuchi could get hit up. The Angels bullpen could get hit up. The Rangers side, maybe Molly's back, but also his numbers say maybe he still gets hit up here. You just enough to get over that 8.5, because I think the total. Yeah, low-key, I think the Rangers can get like 5 or 6. I don't know, in my opinion.
like that
So
over.
if you're just asking for 3 from the Angels, it should be an over type game. But over Rangers on the side too would be a solid way to go to. Maybe a Rangers team total over. I don't know.
Yeah, I bet
I
Texas.
feel that.
Oh, Toast, here you go. Go ahead and share your. I guess I put it on this one. Your Toast underdog pick'em. Pavin Smith. Oh, go ahead.
Pavin Smith, a really good matchup against Connor Gillespie. Also, on top of that, he really, really smashes on the road. 977 OPS on the road, 920 OPS versus right-handed pitching on the road. He's also smashing, has 1 OPS the last 28 days or so. So he's in a really good matchup. And then Brent Rooker, a good matchup against Sean Burke, righty with the wind blowing out. I think we all agreed on the A's and the over in that spot. So I do think that him getting over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs is very capable. So yeah, that's my 2 favorite ones.
The promo code for Underdog Pick'em, Underdog Fantasy is BET, BET. Get $1,000 deposit bonus match. Anyway, 2 games to go. Special shout out to the Cubs. Special shout out to the Padres. Over 7.5. I accidentally placed the bet twice, posted on the website twice. Decided instead of the leading one to let it ride. So I doubled down on this over, and I was not disappointed. Wait, the market moved against us here?
Oh yeah.
Who is betting this? Who is betting him? Oh my God, Padres. For those of you,
go ahead, UCap. Everybody already knows where I'm about.
The play is the Padres here. It's Randy Vasquez. What is if the Cubs were throwing out a bunch of lefty bats, I will sit here and I will point at toes, laugh at him, make fun of Randy Vasquez the whole time. But the truth is, there's not enough lefties in the Cubs lineup, and one thing Randy Vasquez can actually do is get righties out. You take the Padres here. Best bullpen in the NL.
In baseball, but yeah.
Ronald, you with us?
I'm staying away from the side on this one. I think the first 5 over is the way to go here. I'm actually thinking that both of these pitchers get hit up today. I think neither of them are strong strikeout pitchers. And both of these clubs are great at contact. If they can get the ball in play, it shows the numbers tell me that they're going to get runs here. I don't know if they're going to be home runs or whatnot because their hard hit rate isn't that great, but neither of these guys are striking out. Their fly ball rate is pretty high here. Maybe get some home runs, but there's a significant, especially Randy Vasquez, 1.72 ERA. His xFIP is up to 6.32, 6.38 xERA. A lot of things pointing towards negative regression as far as his control too. 6.89 walks per 9. I think there's going to be runs had in this first 5, and I'm going to stay away from that Padres bullpen because I think they could stop the runs from happening. But that doesn't tell me that they're going to get enough to get over 4.5 in that first half. So I was looking towards the first 5 over 4.5. And then runs and RBIs. Tucker and Bush are solid choices, but I think their numbers are a little bit too high. I think I've seen them at like minus 140 or something like that. You can get Machado at minus 115 if you think he can get a run or an RBI in.
You like these runs or RBI? Because
it's only one. You get either a run or an RBI. All you need is one. I went yesterday because I don't really do props for the most part, but yesterday and the day before, I tapped into the market because I saw that there's some things that I was taking advantage of with the model I have. I went 7-2 yesterday on these runs and RBIs. So I'm going to continue tracking it and see if I do well with them and then keep going with it.
All right, run over RBI. Let's move on to the next one, which
I don't even get to glaze my Padres.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, yeah.
It's all good. Everybody already knows how
I just thought I laid it out beautifully. It's Vasquez.
No, you're good. I was just joking around anyway.
And
keep on disrespecting Randy Vasquez, everybody. Keep on disrespecting. His number. I just want to say one thing. Some of his numbers are bad. He's kind of like Framber Valdez, where it's just really hard to get a barrel on, and only a 25% barrel percentage. So he does have some bad expected numbers, but nobody's getting hard contact off of Randy. It's just impossible.
It's impossible. First batter is putting it 425 tonight.
It's not going to happen.
All right. Rockies, Dodgers. I mean, I don't know how much time you guys want to spend here. For those of you that want to stick around, I'm bringing on my cousin to talk some golf after this. So, last baseball game. Ronald, anything here?
The Rockies team total over 1.5.
Let's go.
In the first 5. Specifically the first 5. Yesterday I was watching the show toast. I had the under 8.5. I ended up winning that game under 8.5, but I saw that team total over. I think that's the way to go. So I specifically 1.5 in the first 5 because it was plus money that I saw, plus 102 I think.
Love it.
For that Rockies. I think they can get to Knack. Knack has been getting lit up. Just 2 runs, dude. First 5, I think it happened.
There's 2 people on the show on the Rockies team total over,
and we didn't talk about this either.
That's the good thing about I don't listen to everything you guys say or whatever, but if we can come up with the same thing, looking at all these different angles and all that stuff, I mean, I think that's a solid way to profit.
Yeah.
The only thing I can really add is again, this isn't this is dead serious. I know that I love my Padres, but it's when you're facing Michael King and Pavetta in Safeco, in Petco with that bullpen behind it, it's really hard to score runs in general. So I don't really think that the Rockies offense is as bad as what they saw. I mean, they also saw guys like Freddie Peralta that they got blanked by as well. So again, I think they faced some really good pitching. And then last night as well, they saw Dustin May, who's really, really good as well. They still got 3 runs in that game. And also on top of that, not that they won't be available, but the Dodgers used Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates, and Anthony Banda. So now they've already seen them. Knack is a much worse pitcher than Dustin May. I don't think he's as bad as what he's shown, especially what he showed in Washington, but I have a hard time believing that he just blanks this Rockies team. So at 2.5, I just thought that was just way too low of a number.
Yeah, mine would just be Dodgers minus the runs or pass. I'm good.
Fair.
Ronald, where can the people find your stuff? Moneyball.
Yeah, just over on Twitter. You can see that, or X, UCapper Sports. I've been doing it for a long time. MLB, NBA, WNBA is coming up. That's one of my key
Didn't
sports,
you hit like 22 bets in a row or something last WNBA?
I'm telling you, WNBA is where it's at. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more sharper with everyone coming into the market now with Caitlin Clark and all that stuff, but continue to hit at a very high rate over at the W. Just being able to take care of small markets. MLB, ramping up MLB. Like I said, I'm trying to tap into that prop market. Shout out to Modai because he's into that stuff and he got me into it. So yeah, MLB is looking good, but I put a lot of free content on there on X. So I do a lot of shows and all that stuff too. I won't mention the other channel, but you could just find it over on my X.
It's fine. He has stuff on Wager Talk as well. It's fine. You can say I'm cool with Wager Talk.
No free ads.
All right, you guys enjoy your night. For those of you that are sticking around,
really quickly, I just want to say I know he's in the background, but thank you for all the Corey Connors picks the last 4 weeks or whatever it's been. You're awesome. I appreciate it.
By the way, he's in the hospital. Just had a kid.
I did the same thing, brother. Show must go on. I feel you, brother. I'm with you. You're a real one.
All right, so let's get me over to the boom. So yeah, my cousin is coming from the hospital. Just had his son. He's about to tell us. It was either yesterday or this morning. So he a brand new father here coming on to just dish out a couple picks from the hospital. Let's see. All right, give me an audio test.
Test. Can you hear me?
We're good. I can hear you. So congratulations, by the way.
Good deal. He was born last night. For those of you who are wondering, no, I didn't name him Rory McIlroy. We're not happy with that W.
That's right. You're not a Rory guy. I forgot you're not a Rory
guy. And I do owe the people an apology. I know you put it out on the Discord how I didn't have Corey Connors in my picks last week, and
I had Corey
we
Connors.
hit on him for a straight month. So that was a total mishap on my end. But we're going back to Corey Connors this week. I mean,
absolutely,
we're going to play it until if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're talking RBC Heritage this week, which is it doesn't really call for huge drivers of the golf ball. So a guy like Corey Connors, who just rifles fairways and greens, he's due for a victory too. So
hospital.
That is interesting background. Listen, Corey Connors is due for a win. So what's his price top 20 this week? Can't be
minus
great.
20, minus 125. I'm wondering if the market's caught up. I mean, we can't bail on him.
Listen, I think the juice is still worth the squeeze at minus 125. If I was a gambling man, which I believe I am, I might push him to the top 10. But I think a safe play is definitely top 20. Again, it's one of those signature events, so a smaller field. It obviously is the best guys in the world playing right now.
I was going to say, I'm typing. I'm looking. It doesn't look like it looks like a pretty legitimate field. You got Scheffler,
I think it's the top. I think it's the top 50 in the golf rankings, and then the next they do this thing where it's called like the Ion Next Top 10. So if you're just outside the top 50, but you're playing hot right now, you get in the tournament. I like Corey Connors in this spot. So we're gonna keep rolling the dice until Corey fails us, and maybe he's coming off 5 straight top 10s.
I know.
Top
10s.
So,
Yeah, top 20s. And I've cashed, I believe,
yeah.
every single one of them.
Yes.
So who's next?
So a guy that we've talked about before, and I think one of your followers loves calling this guy Patrick Can't Get Laid.
Yeah.
But listen, I number one, I find that absolutely hilarious. But if you look at what Patrick Cantlay does at RBC Heritage, he has 6 top 10s, 4 third place finishes, a second place finish, and a T7. So as much as we want to make fun of Patrick Cantlay, I think he's just poised to play good at this place. He's obviously done it 6 out of the last 7 times he's teed it up. He's finished inside the top 5. And that one outside finish being a top 10 finish. So I like Patrick Cantlay here.
Yeah, I forget who. I would love to give credit for that joke. I forget who said it, but someone said Patrick can't get laid. Where to next?
Yeah, let's move to a guy who's been playing some good golf. I would say he has had some struggles a little bit of late. Didn't play particularly well in the Masters, but he's still either top 3 or top 4 in the FedEx Cup standings for the year. Show me Sepp Straka.
Sepp Straka. Here we go. Plus 105 for the top 20.
Yeah, so I think this is a great spot to take Sepp Straka, mainly because, like I said, his last 2 tournaments, he hasn't played particularly well. Not that he hasn't missed a cut or anything like that, just hasn't finished inside that top 20 number. I think he was T30 something at the Masters, and probably somewhere again in that T30, T40 range the week before that. So I think you're getting a great price on a guy who hits the ball straight off the tee. He's probably one of the best top 10 iron players in the world. So I really like the price you get on Sepp Straka here. And I think he's just due to bounce back. He's too good of a player, to be in the top 5 of the FedEx Cup standings and to not have a top 20 finish in your last 2 starts. It's basically just he's due.
Sepp Straka. Don't know too much about him. Heard the name a million times. I passed this graphic. Sahith, you going with Sahith? I'm a big Sahith guy. I'm a fan.
Yes, yeah. Sahith last year finished runner-up to Scotty Scheffler. The year before that, he came in 3rd place. So obviously coming off some pretty good history at this golf course. He's been playing better of late. He's kind of like, I know we talk about Tony Finau on the segment a little bit, like Tony's hot and cold. Sahith has been a little bit hot and cold. He did make the cut at the Masters, so he's obviously playing decent enough. I think you get a good price on Sahith, and like I said, the history at this place the last 2 years I think speaks for itself with 2 top 5s. So getting him at plus money to finish top 20, I really like his play here.
Cool. And we should have one more pick. Is it Aaron Rye?
Yeah, it is. It's your money, man. I know.
I don't know. I kind of bailed on Rye, dude. I'm Team Connors now. Rye's back.
Well, I mean, how can you not?
I'm a Corey Connors guy.
Listen, Aaron Rye is the number 1 player shots gained off the tee on the PGA Tour. Heritage, RBC Heritage, that's what it calls for. You got to drive it straight here. Aaron Rye is coming off a pretty good performance at his first Masters in Augusta. It's hard to not like Aaron Rye, especially because you get a good price because the field is so elevated. So I do like him in this spot. I think you get good value. This is what we always talk about here is finding the value. I think it's there with Aaron Rye this week. I think I'm going to roll the dice with him.
I'm going Corey Connors and Sahith. I like that plus 180. I'm going with Sahith. I feel like every time I've lost a few times with Sahith, but he's come through for me too. So everyone, thanks for tuning in. Paul, Big Nasty, congrats, man! Just had a kid.
Big Nasty Jr.
He named him Big Nasty, Little Nasty.
Little Nasty.
If you're in the betting league, you have 1 hour and 20 minutes to submit. So if you're in the betting league, make sure you get everything in. You get your 4 picks for tonight submitted. Yeah, let's have a good one. Thanks everyone for watching. Bet responsibly tonight. Talk to you soon. Later.